Travis Wayne Goodsill. As I'm about to be cast out of Utah because the Mormons are wicked and they don't believe they're wicked, and so they cast me out to show that they're not wicked. Dumbasses. It's important for me to get certain information out before I'm gone and can no longer do and will no longer do videos for you. Despite what Mormons believe, I am trying to save your lives. So John Oliver did a, yes, vital, important news before I leave. John Oliver. It's the object lesson, guys. Did a web exclusive last night on the Da Vinci Code and covered the history in Dan Brown's book of the Knights Templar. It was inaccurate history, but it's Hollywood. You know, who cares? It's just entertainment, right? Nobody's taking it seriously, especially not the Catholic Church, who condemned Dan Brown's book and then movie. And then devout Catholics came out with their contrary book debunking the Da Vinci Code to show that they're the one true church and that Jesus Christ did not have offspring. Well, they're right. He didn't, because he didn't exist. Joseph Smith tells us, see, the greatest trick Lucifer ever pulled was not as, I copied and pasted that, was not, as Charles Baudelaire tells us, is convincing the world the devil doesn't exist. Joseph Smith informs us the greatest trick he ever pulled is convincing us he's Jesus Christ. I did that video for you. Was it yesterday? Time seems to be flying by, as we still have a little ways before I'm forced out permanently from Utah. But the first vision, that's what it was all about. Verse 19. Hello. It's not an apple. I'll give you that much. So, yes, the Knights Templar is important to get historically accurate. And I've been doing that with you in all my videos these past 5 years now, 6 years, however long it's been. I have that video to do for you. Because, despite Matthew saying, no man knows the day or the hour, everybody knew the day and the hour. So what the hell are you putting that in there for, Matthew? Author of Matthew. And so, yeah, all of these witnesses knew the day and the hour. Even Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon. And so that's a separate video that I need to have done before I'm cast out permanently. The other one is to go over the tetrad that we are currently in right now. There's more information on there. So I've already gotten the information out about the new star and the day and the night and the day without a night. That's Beltagese. I saw it in the morning during my run this morning, and I'm seeing it, you know, flickering with its red. It's gonna blow in May, and will light up the night sky as it will day by day move itself towards the center, which if I were still in Utah doing my morning run, I would see it. I'd be running during the daytime. in the middle of the night. But I also did that video in frustration. You guys, let me get the accurate title here. Acronyms. Nobody cared about anachronisms. I don't understand. You'd think at least ex-Mormons would also be interested. And these videos are also pertinent to you. Even though I'm trying to save Mormon lives, you guys are Mormon too. You just got cast out of the Mormon church. This is what Mormons do. They fulfill wickedness. So, where is it? Has it been that long? There it is. What do you Mormons mean you want to wait until winter? It only has 26 views on Travis Wayne Goodsell. Dear God. And so, yeah, every Mormon, you know, they're okay with the literal signs of the latter days from Matthew that is repeated in the Joseph Smith Matthew. And they go, oh yeah, see, the Joseph Smith Matthew also says that no man knoweth the day or the hour of 8 April 2024, Travis. Oh my God. And so you read, as in the days of Noah, which is Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. And you guys are clueless to understand that the story of Noah is a parable of the latter days. Matthew, the author of Matthew, tells us this right there. I just read it to you, and you're clueless. The story of Noah is not historical. It's a parable about the latter days. And I've gone over this with you. It's from the Egyptian documents. Everybody knew the date. And so, again, notice Son of Man, not Jesus. Jesus himself, from the author of Matthew, is saying, you're looking for the Son of Man. Nowhere does he say him. Son of Man, 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 Son of Man. He's not speaking in the first person. He's not even speaking of himself. And so Joseph Smith was correct in section 45, where he says, I'm going to do my own parable just like the author of Matthew did. Joseph Smith tells us this too is a parable, speaking of a parable of the flood story. All having to do with the latter days. Everything testifies of those days. And so it's not the Jews in section 45. It's not Jerusalem. It's not the Jerusalem temple. It's not Jesus. The first vision. Nobody is putting the puzzle pieces together. You're not studying your scriptures. And here I am trying to save you as you are executing me. And so this is what we're going over today, is the Exodus pattern, specifically in the Book of Mormon. Because again, parable, not literal history. You can also say code. Notice I've been saying code. Nobody cares. Everybody's confused. Code? What's code? I don't know. Is it an apple? I don't know. Fleshy red skin? I don't know. Orb? Oh my God. But I've seen this in the classrooms. Mormons just play dumb. so frustrating. And so here's the passage that inspired that video of waiting till winter. Skip to the beginning of it. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet. And what is that now? What is that? Well, Moses tells us it's creeping death. Joseph says, desolating sickness, overflowing scourge, desolating sickness, or is it desolating sickness, or desolating scourge, overflowing sickness? Something like that. Those are the 4 words. Put them in whatever order you want. It's section 45. Oh, well, that's amazing. The parable that has nothing to do with the Jews in Jerusalem. And I knew this. That's what got me into doing all these videos all these years. It's because in 2016, November 4th, I still remember the day and the hour, when Fox 13 News Utah, the TV was in the bedroom, Karen was still married to me, for a brief time yet, and they were announcing the total solar eclipse over the whole United States of America on 21st August 2017. Almost a year in advance, right before the election, and they wanted to cover the total solar eclipse, huh? That's interesting. Why that then? Couldn't you have waited till a month before? Hey, guess what, guys? Next month there's going to be a total solar eclipse. And so I'm going, oh my God, this is it, and it's here in America. Oh crap. I knew, I understood. And so I tried to get the word out to you guys. And I succeeded with one video back in July 2017. It's getting closer to 39,000 views. That's the largest video audience I've had. And I've been silenced ever since. Except for a few exceptions that get several thousand. But the church has gotten pissed with certain videos that I've been giving you, such that they get YouTube with their Mormon employees in position to protect the church. If you have to have your people in certain key positions to protect you, the people should recognize that it's not the true church. And yet, you have trouble figuring out it's an apple. And so, likewise, none of the scriptures as parables are speaking of the actual people, the actual places, the actual events, and the actual times that they're talking about. They're parables. Code. Da Vinci Code. I thought you guys would figure that out, and you don't. So I guess we'll use parable. See if that works for you. I'm about to go away. Cast out. Videos will end. And it will be too late for you to go, wait a minute, Travis talked something about this. Where is it? Oh no, our internet's down. We can't find out now. Or, oh no, the YouTube has Mormon employees have noticed that Travis is gone, and so they banned his channels. And we're getting into that in this video that's going to be long, apparently, because there's a lot of Exodus patterns in just the Book of Mormon. And so, what's the abomination of desolation? I just did the video, nobody cared. I think, or is that the more breakout video that has stopped at under 50? Take your time, take your time, baby, we can do it, take your time, right, we can do it, baby, do it tonight, baby, we can do it, take your time. Review of Mormon specific signs in the latter days. No, that's about the Great and Abominable Church, which, yes, that's what this warning is all about, guys. The Great and Abominable Church will fall. God's already let us know this. And it's by the signs in the heavens. And I've gone over that with you. Anachronisms. Oh, no, it is actual abomination of desolation destroying Mormons who cast me out. So, yeah, only 18 in 16 hours on Travis Wayne Goodsell. But these videos are leading you step by step. But there are people who can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth! A few good Mormons are being cast out. So, abomination of desolation. I shouldn't have to be specific with you. Everybody knows it now. It's the everyday news. Deseret News came out and said, hey, there's more variants. Well, we just got started in this one. There's already more variants. Utah's getting its ass kicked from it. And there's already new variants. Deseret News. And so the holy place. What's the holy place? Zion. Hello. That's what it tells us in section 45 of the Doctrine and Covenants. Zion. A place of peace, safety, and refuge. Refuge from what? Verse 31. Creeping death. Abomination of desolation. We don't have Zion, do we? Nope. Instead, we have the prophesied false prophet, the false Christ, murdering Mormons, who are dumb enough to have gone to church yesterday. And we're going to see the consequences of your dumbass move of going to church yesterday on Wednesday. Because we're going to see some high numbers for Monday and Tuesday, because that's what we ended up with on Friday. But then Wednesday, because of Sunday. Let them which be in Judea. So it's a parable, so it's not Judea, even though Judea currently are on their 4th vaccine shot. That's all over the news. Israel begins 4th shot. They're getting slammed, but they keep trying to protect their people. Let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. So where is all this taking place? In the decoded version, America and Utah, because that's where it ended up being. That's where the headquarters of the Great and Abominable Church, who murdered Joseph and Hiram, the Christs of Mormonism, the founders, the capstone, or the cornerstone that the builders rejected, will produce the Christ through the Mormon Church, who will become the capstone, who will stand on the top of the mount, and then the Mormons will realize, oops, we persecuted our king and cast him out of Utah. And it just so happens that Judah and Judea is phonetically the same as Utah. That's fascinating. How did that work? It was supposed to be called the Kingdom of Deseret. until the United States came in and shut down the kingdom, and the church has been fighting America ever since. Flee into the mountains. There's destruction coming. And so just like Lot, it too is a parable. It did not happen. Quit searching for the archaeology evidence of it. It won't be found. It didn't exist. It's a parable of the latter days. Apocalyptic literature. And so what are the basic patterns in the Lot story? Well, you have Abraham first setting up the scenario. Will you destroy Sodom for 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, all the way down to 10? And he stops and he doesn't give us an answer other than, I will not do it for 10. So what number will you do it for? And we have to assume it's under 10. So with me leaving, there's now 9 righteous Mormons left in Utah. And so Utah's ready to be destroyed. That's the pattern. You're not listening to scriptures. No, Travis, you're taking it too literally. The Bible is literal history. You're taking it too literally. Oh, dear God. And so, yes, Lot takes his family. I don't even have 2 daughters to take with me. Let alone the racist, we'll call it, the racist attitude of the author towards who became the certain tribes of Ammon and that one other place, saying that their original ancestor Lot gave birth to them through his daughters. Again, if you're going to consider it literal history, that's what it means. It's racist. So, yeah, and instead you should be looking at it as Father Ammon and Mary, his daughter, instead giving birth to son Ammon. As parable. So 2 daughters fits another parable about, anyway. But notice the wife, who would be Zion, the bride of the Messiah, the Christ. She turns back and stays in Salt Lake City, Utah, and is destroyed with them. This is the Exodus pattern, Mormons. And so, yes, the Exodus of Moses is likewise an Exodus pattern. Moses did not exist. There were people who had Moses in their name. They were the pharaohs of the 18th dynasty, the David Moses dynasty. Oh, so Jews are digging in Jerusalem, and they're never going to find King David? Well, they have, but you don't believe it. King David was there for Armageddon. You know, he went up against the Hittites in the Valley of Armageddon. And during the battle, David Moses IV went up to the hills of what's now known as Jerusalem. There were no temples there, and stayed there for a little vacation time during the war of Armageddon, number 1. And so, yes, isn't that amazing? Armageddon 2 is a fulfillment of Armageddon 1. So knowing the accurate history of the first Armageddon would be kind of essential to know, because King David goes and has sex with a woman on there and gives birth to a child who becomes the Christ, the Prince of Peace. Solomon, the king of peace. The N at the end I've gone over with you. In Paleo-Hebrew, it's a suffix determinative. People, it's king. Places, it's kingdom. Salem, peace. The Prince of Peace. Oh, that's Jesus, right? No. Let him, which is on the housetop. Oh, wait. Bathsheba was on the housetop bathing. Yeah, you have to know the cultural background. There were houses built in such a manner that a lot of the work was done on the roof. And so, doing your work on the roof during the day, don't come down to get your stuff. It's too late. You need to run. Run as fast as you can. This is Sodom. This is destruction. And abomination of desolation is the clue. Uh-oh, abomination of desolation is here. We better run. We better Exodus Utah. Because Joseph Smith told you it's Utah. We'll get to that after I finish this. And then we'll get to the Book of Mormon, Exodus patterns. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. Again, Lot's wife, Zion, Mormons, go back to Salt Lake City. They refuse to Exodus. They see the abomination of desolation. They refuse to run. And I'm even giving you a time frame of when it will be. And you still will not listen. You still hesitate. I don't know. My spiritual witness isn't confirming this. Oh my God. The Pompeii has been in the news lately. I've seen. Once it blew, it was too late. They couldn't even run. They were encased in, carbonite, like Han Solo. Instantly. They had little time to even move. But the warnings were there, and they did not flee. And when it blew, it was too late for them. That is the true lesson. It is not what Spencer W. Kimball did when he went on vacation there. Oh, these guys were so wicked, that's why they were destroyed. Look at all the porn on these walls. Oh, if only I had my stapler with me. Dear God. Mr. Idol Worship himself, projecting his sins into a miracle of forgiveness. God. Woe unto them that are pregnant. Yeah. It's gonna suck for women who have to run while pregnant. Even if you've been a marathon runner, running with a baby will be a little tough. And so if you've already got a baby, yeah, you have to carry the baby. Baby can't run. You have to carry them. And so here it is. But pray that you leave when Travis tells you to during the parting of the sea to pass through on dry land. Nope. Instead, here we are in winter. And heaven forbid it be on the Sabbath day while you're all in church, the super spreader of the abomination of desolation. For then shall great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. shortened. I've been begging and pleading for it to be shortened, and it just kept going. I got myself prepared way back in 2017. I started preparing, and it didn't come, and it didn't come. And Karen demanded I do that July video to give the day and the hour. And I didn't know it then. All I knew is that it's here in America, and we're in it. It's begun. Because she didn't want to walk. Yeah, well, you're not going to be walking, you're going to be running. And in that day, she will remember me and what I told her, and I'll be gone. And it'll be too late. And so here Mormons were told, don't follow Brigham Young into the desert. Sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood. That's the tetrad we're going to go over. Okay, I was going to go to section 103, verse 16, wasn't I? Before we get into the Book of Mormon. So yes, I am frustrated, obviously. Because you guys will not believe. You would rather murder for the prophets to protect the church. You can't protect the church. Have you not figured that out? Corruption always collapses. Therefore, I will raise up unto my people a man. So from among the Mormons, who shall lead the Mormons like as Moses led the children of Israel. There's the Exodus of Mormons. It's here. I've been going over this over and over again in different presentation methods for you, hoping something will click in you. Because Mormons need to be led out of bondage. Right there in your scriptures, you believe it's true. So who's holding you bondage, Mormons? The church made sure to have all Mormons in government office here in Utah, even at the federal level, to protect the church. So who's putting you in bondage as a Mormon? If the church is protected, who's putting you in bondage then? Yeah, the church, who uses you to protect them. You're in bondage. Ta-da! He's murdering you, using the abomination of desolation to do it. As you all went to church yesterday. So shall the redemption of Zion be. As Joseph Smith tells us, Moses is a parable. A type and shadow of the latter days. Let's get to the Book of Mormon. And so we technically get a hint of the first Exodus pattern in verse 2 of 1 Nephi, chapter 1. Yea, I make a record in the language of my father, which consists of the learning of the Jews and the language of the Egyptians. Now, yes, it's referring to Jewish mysticism and Egyptian, and all things story-wise, the origin of religion in the latter days. But it's also referring to the Egyptian stories as apocalyptic literature. And so, just like the story of Moses, the Christ of the Jews, likewise, the Egyptian Christ, Horus. Both of them are important to know and understand. So Horus, his two eyes, hawk eyes, are for the sun and the moon. And so, at the beginning of the war, his right eye is plucked out by the adversary. So, when that happened, when it was announced on Fox 13 News Utah, I knew that was it. Then it was confirmed when I bought an ancient Egyptian calendar for that year, 2017. And for that date, holy crap, it's the new year of the ancient Egyptians. And it's not like our calendar of 365 days, where the same day is each and every single year. The days in their calendar were a different day on our calendar each and every single year. So for them to prophesy of this date and other dates of the latter days is really quite amazing. That they were that knowledgeable in astronomy long before the pyramid texts, because the pyramid texts are the oldest document on the face of the earth that we've found so far. Not the Epic of Gilgamesh, the pyramid texts. And in the pyramid texts, they refer to stories about all this that we have not found yet. But that's how we know about them, is because of the pyramid texts. And so the language, yes, Daniel Jackson was right, was already formulated long before the pyramid texts. And the stories in the pyramid texts, likewise, long before. But nonetheless, the two eyes are the Egyptian word PTR, no vowels. So if you put vowels in, you put E's, Peter, first seer. And the church refused to put it in the footnotes to show Joseph Smith was accurate. They just don't want Joseph Smith to be known to Mormons as true. The only reason why you would do that is if you're the false, great and abominable church. And so, the Exodus has already happened. Commencement of the first year of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah. And so the Book of Mormon then covers Moses and the Exodus over and over again. So that's Exodus number 2. First one with Horus, second one with the Moses story. And preceding Moses is Noah, so 3. And then Sodom and Gomorrah, 4. But those are not Book of Mormon ones. These are just referring to the Egyptian and the Moses one. But here we begin with an Exodus pattern, because Lehi leaves this first year. This is not historical, remember, this is parable. Ex-Mormons were right, Mormons. Sucks to be you, because you're the suckers and losers for still believing it's literally true. And it must be literally true, and you get violent and mean to anybody who says otherwise to prove that you're right. That's what Lucifer's plan of happiness is. To force people to believe your way. And so historically, yes, this likewise was an exodus. But this was literally true. There was an exodus from Jerusalem when Babylon came in. That is true history. But now the Book of Mormon is using that as parable for the latter days Exodus of Mormons. And so it's somewhat important to know the accurate exodus of the Jews from Jerusalem by Babylon, so that you can understand better the exodus being referred to here. And so we are introduced to Lehi. Nephi is not born. He is doing an abridgment of the record of his father. He tells us. And so Nephi is not listed in those who leave Jerusalem. He lists the names of those who left, and Nephi is not one of them. They were not born yet. He was not born yet, because neither was Joseph or Jacob. And if you're going to make this literal history, you're going to run into some confusion, because that would mean that when Nephi was old enough to go back to get the plates, the brass plates, at most he was 10 years old. At most 10 years old. But we are led to understand he was born in this first year. So yes, he was 10 years old when he was able to look exactly like Laban to get the plates from Zoram and have the deep voice of Laban. And being large of stature, remember? 10-year-old boy, huh? Again, it's not literal history. You cannot have it as literal history. You're going to run into many problems that are just going to dig your hole deeper. And how do Mormons solve this? Oh, well, Nephi was born during this time, and so he was much older, like in his 20s. Dear God. And so all the videos, all the cartoons, all portray Joseph as an older boy, older man. They just lie and cover up the truth. Because it has to be real history. Nonetheless, Babylon already came and destroyed Jerusalem. They conquered it. They took it over. That's why Zedekiah is his first year on the throne. Babylon put him there. He's the puppet king. The first year, there's a puppet put on the throne of Jerusalem. And this is a parable of the latter days. So what's the first year of the latter days, Mormons? I already gave it to you. 2017. And there will be a puppet put on the throne of the location of the latter day destruction. He's all over the news lately, even. No longer the president, and I've been calling him the asterisk president this whole time, and nobody catches on. He's not happy with it. That's why he helped the church shut down my channel, or my video, or website, way back in the day, 2019. But here they are, warning again. they're coming back to destroy us for good. And so, Lehi has a pillar of fire dwelling on a rock in a hat and sees lots of things as a result. And so he's overwhelmed, goes home, takes a nap, and has a dream. And in that dream, he sees star dates. That's what it means. Heaven's opened. So it's not God sitting on his throne, literally. It's a dream. It's a star date. And we know that it comes from Revelation chapter 12. The Joseph Smith translation moves that passage, which is in verse 5, to verse 3, so that it's part of the first sign, star date, in Revelation 12. The birth sign. Oh, the start of the latter days. Confirmed 2017. Because that date is 23rd September. Wait a minute. Joseph Smith was doing stuff in September in his history. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if there's a connection. Has Travis done a video connecting this? Did the church get pissed that Travis figured that out? Have YouTube attack him, and then that didn't work. They then got computer hackers to prevent Travis from doing further videos, for which then the news broke the bombshell of the secret Band of Gadianton membership list, which includes Mormons in it and connections of Mormons like Oaks to them, who are seeking to overthrow America. Yes, if you're not paying attention, there are certain videos that you can see in YouTube where the church was pissed. And the one that sealed my fate, for which I am now being forced to leave and cast out, was finding out that they are literally planning to take over the world governments, not just America's. And they said, enough, Travis. You're gone. And you can see it. I do this video and do other videos related to it, because this was a bombshell. The government will not step in to help me. You must understand that. Nobody is helping me. I'm on my own. I've been abandoned by everyone. And I'm being cast out. This is part of the fulfillment of the Exodus pattern, because of this one and others similar to my situation. And so then he sees the sun at noonday. Huh. Amen, huh? The Egyptian deity, huh? What do you know? All about the latter days, huh? As Joseph Smith calls him, Son Amen. Interesting. Wonder if that has anything to do with anything. The Book of Mormon is the keystone. Of course it does. And so then the 12 others following him. Again, we're going back to Revelation 12 rather than the sun at noonday part, which is in Revelation 19. The first and last years of the latter days. Right there in the beginning of the Book of Mormon. Star dates from Revelation. And the Book of Mormon tells us, refer to John for the latter days. Refer to his Revelation book. All Mormons had this available to you, just like I did. This shouldn't be new. This shouldn't be esoteric knowledge. When you see heavens opened, you should immediately be pulling out your star charts, the Holiness to the Lord parchment, I've gone over the history. It is important to get the history of the church accurate. Because likewise, with the history of the world and Knights Templar for 8 April 2024, likewise, knowing the correct history of the Smiths is vital to understanding the decoded message. So that it's not Jesus who appears to him in the first vision. Because verse 19 says it's not. And it's Nephi, not Moroni, because there's a reason why it's Nephi, who likewise is the sun at noonday. September 22nd. And so, yes, they're going to be carried away captive. And so, despite this dream, despite Lehi going back out and warning the people, hey guys, you're going to be destroyed, what do the Mormons do to Lehi? Yes, I said Mormons. Remember, parable, latter days. Jews are not Jews, they're Mormons. And it came to pass that the Mormons did mock him because of the things which he testified of them. For he truly testified of their wickedness and abominations. Yeah, just like Samuel the Lamanite. Another Exodus pattern that we're going to get to. We're already at 1 hour. And he testified that the things which he saw and heard, the star dates, and the prophecies of the scriptures for the latter days, manifested plainly of the coming of the last days Mormon Christ, like Moses. It comes from Deuteronomy 18. That's why I keep doing that over and over again in different presentations for you. Our Christ is not Jesus. He's mortal, Son of Man. If you don't believe it, you don't believe in being Mormon. You want to be Christian. And so when the Mormons heard these things, they were angry with Travis. It's fulfilled. I did my part, warned the Mormons of what I read in the book, of the signs in the heavens, and I warned Mormons through videos, through my website, through books on Amazon, all different places that I could figure out to warn Mormons. And the Mormons were angry with me, even as the prophets of old, Joseph and Hiram, whom they cast out and stoned and slain. Willard Richards shot him in the back. Hiram Smith murdered by John Taylor. So Joseph, seeing that John murdered Hiram, his brother, then shot at John with the remaining 3 balls. 2 of the 3 hit John, the 3rd hit his watch. John then scampered under the bed to hide. Joseph went over to mourn for his brother, where the spot of blood is on the stained wood. Which was not there yet. That was when Willard Richards made sure he was dead. Shot him while he was lying down, right in that location. That caused the pool of blood on the ground. Because otherwise, if it is as Mormon apologists want to claim, that he was shot through the bullet through the door, which would have hit him right here, there's a reason why I have certain props. When you examine the evidence of the crime scene, the witnesses' testimonies make no sense. They're wrong. And I've done those videos, and we're not going to go over that again. But yes, Mormons are the children of those who murdered Joseph and Hiram. And they are murdering their last days Christ. Just like they're doing to Lehi. And sought to take away Lehi's life. And then, but behold, Wesley doesn't die at this point. What? Well, I'm just letting you know because you seemed concerned. But I'm fine, Grandpa. Princess Bride. And so, yeah, he's spoiling the ending for us. Tender mercies of the Lord. Dear God, that has been misused in the church. And so here we go into chapter 2, which shouldn't be, but nonetheless is. So now Yahweh is coming to Lehi in a dream again. He said, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant. You need to run. They want to take away your life. They're casting you out." And so he's obedient and departs into the wilderness with little asterisk before departed to show that it's 600 BCE literal history, which is incorrect. First year of the reign of King Zedekiah was 597, so 600 years from the time Lehi left Jerusalem is 4 CE. Wait, there was a sign in the heavens in 4 CE which looked like a partial solar eclipse in the Middle East, for which they all then used that as the sign of their religion. All used it as the sign of their religion. All used it, not just Islam, and it's the solar eclipse, not the crescent moon, as Mac Tonight and DreamWorks use for theirs. No, it's the solar eclipse, not the lunar. And so that was what day? Oh, 8 April, huh? And so yes, this is important information if you know your Holiness to the Lord star chart parchment with the Jupiter stone from the New Israelites of Vermont. It's important to know the true history that the Great and Abominable Church purposely keeps covered up from Mormons so that they are blinded, and causing a stumbling block for them as they get angry with people who reveal the true history and want to cast them out and murder them. And so he takes everything into the wilderness, and these are the people who leave: Lehi, Sariah, Laman, Lemuel, and Sam. No Nephi. And so then he gets to a place, builds an altar, names his son, or names the places after his son's names, tells them that they're wicked. So that's the thing that's different. As I'm the one leaving first before destruction of Utah, I have no family, not even daughters to take with me. I'm just all by myself, which is other patterns in the Exodus with Ether and Moroni, Samuel the Lamanite even. But this is one scenario. See, this isn't all about godly, mystical predictions of the latter days put in the story form. The real church history is that Senior came across national security information a national security threat to America, the brand new America. And as a dutiful citizen, wanted to make sure that that information that he had obtained got published. Called it the Book of Mormon. Made his son a religious figure as the Christ. And they knew it was going to be usurped from them, because the enemy was looking for those responsible in September 1826. They searched everywhere for those manuscript pages. Those 116 manuscript pages. 116 manuscript pages. Everybody knew of that incident. Everybody was freaked out and paranoid. Destroyed all temples except for like 6 that remained after the complete and utter burning destruction. Everybody was in fear. But that was what was necessary to save America. And a certain Heber C. Kimball, is it great-grandfather of Spencer W. Kimball, reveals which side he was on, as he believed that the documents were all destroyed in 1826 and 27, so therefore it was okay to reveal certain information clues without, oops, you're busted. And I'm the one who revealed it to you. Nobody else. Me. Exclusive information from me about the plot to overthrow America and the world. And so in verse 15, my father dwelt in a tent. And then, ta-da! And it came to pass that I, Nephi, being exceedingly young. Oh, yeah? It's because he was born in the first year. That's when the sign of the birth occurred in Revelation 12. So, we'll stop. And we should do that, shouldn't we? Shouldn't we? Do these in sections. Call this one the intro. And then we'll do segments. And we'll put things to introduce them. So I'll have to relabel the videos so I get them in the right order. And we'll take a break here.